track the enemy jungler. Keep an eye on where Willer is at all times, because he wants to be winning the bottom lane because they don't have a range support down there. He needs to be focused there. You can generate a significant lead, get your role quest online faster, but it's definitely not a favorable one either. And so as a result, we are going to see tons of lane control here. In fact,
oh, the flash forward there from Korea as they do manage to get the first blood. Korea will sacrifice himself for it as Deadly Flourish is just walked away from. As Smash in melee range with Andal is not exactly what he wants to do. Flashes eventually in order to get out of the way, but Andal, he's the one that stands tall. So he will have those shoots now collected.
Top lane, Willer has a potential angle here.
Yeah, but another anchor is going to connect. Andal just threads the needle, and Smash is so dead. Gio going to be able to pick that one up.
And this is the problem with losing that flash on the Jhin. Meanwhile, Luciu's early tempo teleport to grab a longsword, he had it back a second time, and now Rich has level 6 advantage. Well, he's going to use it.
Yeah, that is going to be Xiu taking a lot here from Rich, but he's still got 200 health. Actually goes back in, which is kind of insane, as he flashes to get out of the way of the assumed shuriken. Magical journey there from Korea. Smash still moving forward. Wanting to find an angle here as Lucid and Showmaker are making their way down. Flash out from Lucid there to avoid the shockwave, which doesn't actually connect. Empress Divide now onto 2 as Willa flashes, but he's still going to die. It's the Bard getting another one as Ando likely to go down next, and Gio will be shut down by Smash. Showmaker still on full health after he eats some of that honey fruit, and DK, guess what, Wolf? They found a team fight win around a Scuttle Crab area.
Scuttle Blue Steel.
Yeah.
Invade, I should say.
As Korea has swept things out, Hook is going to connect immediately onto him, wants to take that magical journey, and he might be able to do so, but I still think he's dead, as Willa can just take it as well, and you can see a little bit frustrated.
Flashless stayed a little bit too long.
All right, Gio fighting against Smash once again, but taking that burst as there's the curtains. Gio looking for an angle here, does try to get out, and the Valkyrie will be able to do so. As stuck between a rock and a hard place here, ladies and gentlemen, as Gio kind of realizing he's trying to work out what he can do. Flash is available for both of them, and there it is. Smash just needs one more, and there it is! Through the barrier, says the fourth bullet. No worries there at all.
I think Gio should have barriered the previous bullet and flashed, and maybe, I don't know, there's not really much you could do in that scenario, but he waited till the last possible second. The damage is real on the fourth shot, though, and that barrier isn't enough.
Yeah, that was just a little bit sad. Like, you saw it. Gio was like, well, I mean, if I go the other direction, I'm dead. As Gio's going to get locked up into the air. In goes Willa, looking to try and take him down, and they will be able to grab that kill. Andal just very comfortably tanks up the turret. And with Lucid having no ultimate, maybe there's going to be an opportunity there. Shock Blast does go wide, as Rich taking a bit of damage and electrocute here is now Korea face checking. Not sure about that one, but it's Willa that's taking the brunt of this. Deadly Flourish from Smash as he's looking for a flank angle. As we know the Lucid doesn't have the public execution, but DRX members are getting so low, and the Cosmic Binding connects onto Gio. He's in melee range, and now he is dead as Showmaker looks to get out of there and will be able to do so, but now the stun lands onto Willer as well. Cosmic Binding after the flash is going to miss though, and Smash just needs a little bit more for that bullet. Andal read him like a book as there's the curtains being called yet again. As Smash just really wanting to try and take down Willa, but thankfully there is a big, big daddy in the way.
Smash is like, maybe he's not blocking for him. Let's check and
yeah,
see.
Exactly. He's like, maybe he'll just like walk early, you know, because he's a fog of war.
Maybe, you never know. Did not happen in this case. Is Rich going to go for another all in here?
Yeah, there's a slicing maelstrom onto Xiu. He's going to try and turn it as best he can. Does get the boot back, and down goes Rich. But man, it was so close.
Yeah, a bit of a coin flip on that one in terms of how close it was. I thought Rich had it calculated with the stun coming through, but he did not have
5 HP.
Wow. These chase kills here as well. So watch this. This is from the perspective of Xiu, as in live, another all-in the bottom lane.
Yeah, in the meantime, even more happening, but let's have a look at it. Stun came down and gets the boot back, and the put in the works auto attack to take him down, and yeah, that'd be my reaction as well.
Significant lead up there, and now it's just completely gone.
And now Willer is trying to take some more of these grubs, as Empress Divide does get the flash out from Willa. As Lucid not interested in finishing these grubs off.
There, they end up being high value, except stopping the lightning rush.
Yeah, and getting a flash out of a cannon is always
good. It's just that the eventual objective doesn't go their way.
Yeah.
And I thought they would maybe try to look for a broader team fight there with the group up they had.
It looks like they just don't care about grubs at all. They want to avoid that sort of front-to-back team fight, the turn is not necessarily as good. And I kind of like it, the identification of what this composition can do. As Tempered Fate to turn off this turret, Rich just has to get out of there with the Lightning Rush. Not too much more going to come of it, but the Rift Herald does go over to Dplus. That's their time.
Do get the first turret on the bottom side of the map, though, for Gio, and he picks up a ton of money and actually picks up a gold lead because of it.
Big one, too.
So Dplus, you know, they decided we're going to play through the side lane top side. Took a lot longer, though, to do it, and because of the bottom side control that Willer had, like, they pushed Shiu out of the lane, got the turret, and they're going to pick up a dragon here.
Whoa! Flash depth charge does come on through as the public execution. I don't know whether he really wanted to go that way as Lucid flashes and dies. And the Drake is taken on the other side. DRX with multiple wins across the map.
And maybe even potentially more here.
Yeah. Remember, Gio took down the turret. And so Shiu is likely just dead as well. The flash is also employed, but it's not going to save him. And Gio gets another kill as he's very, very close to max stacks for the Muir Man as well. As another anchor is going to connect onto Korea. He's taking a lot of damage, has to flash to get himself out. Magical Journey, a very short one. As the curtains have now been called, Gio is now having Smash in point-blank range. Doesn't exactly get to use all of these, as there's a great shockwave onto Lucid to take him out. Finally, he kills the Ambassador with that ability, as Gio realizes the rest of his team's here, and DK are not, and DRX win a team fight as well.
And he is just AFK in this one.
Yeah.
I'm not to blame him, because the win con for them is to split, is to get the Azir fed, use that side lane win con, but he doesn't have grubs, so it's taking a little bit longer. In this fight, they were so all in on the Nautilus with the channel there from Smash. He wasn't able to really offer any damage.
Was not there for DK. So they're going to have to fix it. And DK, after, you know, figuring things out in the early game, they won that early skirmish, got a little complacent. And if you're a DK fan, you'll understand that's happened before. She was just really dead. Rich just finds him, presses R, and down goes the Jace.
This Jace is a very fragile pick, but UCal looks like he's going to get a whole turret, and they don't get the turret in mid lane, and they don't have a play here.
Well, Hook going to connect onto Showmaker as he gets knocked up. Tempered Fate to keep him safe. As now Lucid looking for an angle. Flash out of the way from Andal to avoid the deadly flourish.
Absolutely a favorable fight for DRX. UCal has the time to come back in. Got an extra rod.
Well, in goes Sheer looking to take down Andal, and he does successfully do that, but he'll sacrifice himself for it.
Top laner for support on a fight like this. I'm not sure if that's the trade he was looking for. Showmaker has to save this.
I mean, Andal is very important, though, for DRX. Otherwise, they don't have very much engage. So maybe that's going to be enough to give DK the confidence. I think without the Jace, though, can get problematic, but Slicing Maelstrom's back up. Rich has Flash. He could win the game for them right here. Shockwave connects onto Lucid. He does still have the public execution as in goes Showmaker, and he looks for the angle. He gets on top of Gio. The public execution is there as well, and the curtains, they have been called for DRX, but two are already down. And without Lucid and Showmaker, DK have no way of winning a fight, as it's almost the Drake take there from the Deadly Flourish, but it does not come through. So a 1 for 3, and DRX can do no wrong.
Out. So we're going to go all the way back to this play here with Rich. Goes straight onto the Jace, 100-0. See you later. Making 100%.
And this is the thing that's a little bit scary, because this could mean a lot for DK as Lucid's just dead again. Willer is going to turn that into another one onto Showmaker here at the same time. He tries to shift the sands as Shiu, just one more auto and he's going to be going down, but Showmaker's dead on the other side of the map, and DK are falling apart at the seams.
Shiu could maybe have an angle here. Nah, I don't think so.
Yeah,
Rich is not even going to flash for the kill. He's like, taking this win, getting your flash is more valuable. They're going to take Baron on the top side. Everyone rotated bottom side trying to bail out the Jace, but there's nothing bottom side. This is just a free Baron.
Yeah.
DRX are running circles around Dplus right now.
Wait.
And he does die to minions.
Did he die to a minion? Is that what happened?
There's, I guess that's the only explanation. He was.
I mean, Rich doesn't have an extra kill, right? So he just operates super well with, you know, the underdog buff. Is this DRX? They just punch harder than you expect, and DK are the team that are just. Yeah, they often get caught by teams like that as Tempered Fate goes wide, Deadly Flourish gets flashed, and Rich going to keep himself alive. Shiu in a lot of trouble as he's going to have to get out of there. Andal probably not wanting to go for that one as he is taking a lot of damage from Showmaker. As DRX looking to push in with this Baron buff and make it work. 3,000 gold on the Red Bull Baron power play already, putting them at a 6.2k gold lead. DRX, like, I mean, they are just off to the races in this game. It's all right. Let's see whether they can find it. As there is the public execution, but the CC is there, and the Ambassador goes down.
Way too early for the TP flank. Let's see if he can get anything with the
Also,
Shock
what
Blast.
is a flanking Jace going to do anyway? As Empress Divide comes on through, and Showmaker immediately goes down. She was knocked out of the sky, and DRX is moving forward like a freight train. Smash likely to go down next as Willow looks for the angle. Wim becomes lightning. He's going to go wide, so that spells the end of that. But it is only Smash left alive. The base is going to be broken, and DRX are on the road to doing it again.
Yeah, this is a great start for them here. UCal, a little bit less great on this one.
Like, the amount of dying to minions this game is much higher than it should have been.
Yeah, DRX, I think, are
I have the
gonna laugh
feedback.
about it.
I have the feedback for him to avoid that happening, though. And that is, don't back under the enemy turret.
He thought the minions were going to cover him. We talk about Jace Shock Blast warping objectives, but if they can't even get halfway to the Baron, what does it mean? What does it matter?
Well, I mean, they have to try. And there is Rich finding the angle onto Showmaker. The Shockwave connects onto Korea, but Showmaker does flash his way out of there. Shiyu now getting ulted by Andal, but the knock-up collects Korea on the way through, and the Jace is separated and destroyed. A double kill just casually there for Jiu, and they'll just saunter back towards the Baron to take it down with ease.
This is looking very different than the last time these two teams matched up against each other. Showmaker down flash now. Baron is going to, you have to think, guarantee this base gets completely trashed. With Rich having his ultimate back up, he's just super safe. Well, Gio, on the other hand,
he's going to get booped back by the hammer, but he does offer a lot of damage himself with, he's got a Randuin's.
Yeah, he just doesn't want to die.
He really likes Bruiser Corky, doesn't he? But he's taken it, I feel, an extra step with the Randuin's purchase. It's kind of cute, but don't know about it.
No, I mean, the Jace and the Ambassador can't hurt him now, basically.
Yeah, and I guess he just, like, presses the Randuin's button and Valkyries, and then they can't get up to him. It's kind of cute.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, all right, well. He's also got a Mountain Soul, so it's only going to get amplified as well. So I kind of like that as well. A situational purchase as the anchor is going to go wide. Shiyu is walking a little too fast there for Andal, as just stands in it, does Rich, as he's very happy to be tempted fated. He will get held in position, though, and it's Smash that's able to lock down that kill now.
Lucid
the
on
curtains
flank.
are being called. Let's see whether Lucid can actually find this. There's a couple more bullets left in the chamber. Deadly Flourish connects as they do have Andal, and they avoid the anchor. But now Willa goes in, and we will have to find out whether Willa can actually die. Goes down to the GA to start us off. As the engaged Corky comes in, the Shockwave is going to come through as well, and all the damage is melting. Jiu just doesn't take damage. And the cosmic binding is actually fantastic, but Lucid, he cannot outfight this. And Andal comes forward. Is that going to be the Quadri? Yes, it is. And down goes the Nexus. Tank Corky, ladies and gentlemen.
Has been a little bit up in the air, right? We were looking at this draft, and you could have seen the jungle Silas here instead.
Oh, yeah, and I'm actually, I'm kind of crazy because I assumed that was going into the top lane, but the Aurora is obviously not a bad matchup into the Gnar either. Right. And this is why a lot of our mid laners don't actually follow, because losing a wave can be incredibly detrimental. As now Rich taking a lot of damage here. There's the Mega Gnar out of Shiyu. He'll have the ultimate as he lands the house. And Wallop comes through. And stun comes down. Let's see whether Shiyu can actually find this even 1 versus 2. As Rich just gets hit with 3 houses and will go down. Man, that's a Fire Emblem game. That's all right. Out he goes. He just hops his way out of there.
Need your front line to be active, because as you point out several times, their engage is pretty lacking. So they need to have a front line for Jiu to just auto-attack people. As CJ gets the first house, gets this wallop, has his Gnar, was not actually the wallop I mentioned earlier, but the Gnar that hits both into the wall.
Oh, 410 gold as well, feeling fantastic about that one. And a top lane advantage for a Gnar is so incredibly valuable.
A bunch of Dplus abilities go wide.
All right, Korea does not quite find the beat drop there.
Okay, now he got Smash's Q. This is an angle.
Yep, arrow going to come on through there as the ulti has been thrown out. The Encore is going to be missed onto Jiu. Gets in range of Smash. Barrier is there as Lucid is just so slow. He looks for the briefcase. and he's being followed by this. And the flash over and the dash back from Jiu is so slick. And DRX, they're not going to find kills. Jiu stays alive, and Lucid is still running. Grim Deliverance delivers not a whole lot. He's got the wrong house. The houses are in the top lane, as we mentioned earlier, and these briefcases continue landing. They're trophies, actually, with this particular skin. I keep seeing like Corporate Mundo every single time, and so I say briefcase. They're trophies, and I think Lucid's going to deserve one. Discover Willer here. Oh, almost steals it, man.
I thought he had it for sure.
That looked
so
close. His house accuracy has just been phenomenal. But it is going to be dragon traded for a couple of grubs. Just one of them going to be left up.
Making Dorothy from Wizard of the Oz look like an amateur.
No, exactly right. Oh, it needs to click those heels a little bit harder. That's okay. Andal takes a trophy to the noggin there.
I don't know if the Mundo dive is really going to work out, but they are going to maybe take this Gromp away. We do see Willer is coming over.
Yeah. I mean, they do have a lot of damage follow-up. The arrow up and available. Encore there in 3 seconds' time.
And Lucid has his ult. He can tank the turret for practically forever, but I just don't know about this.
Yeah, Jiu's still going to look for it here as Smash goes down low, but they've got so much CC, and it's just layered gorgeously. Auto attack was in the air, and Jiu, oh no, this is what we've seen before. Just goes a little bit too far.
We're doing it again. Going to keep harassing. Another wave comes through. Seraphine ult not quite back online yet, but if they could get some chip damage here, might work out. Also, Showmaker has the faster roam.
Oh dear.
Willer does not have flash either. This is a disastrous position.
Oh god, okay. Well, that paddle star connected.
Everybody to try to kill Jiu, and they don't kill him, and there's no consequences. Like, I didn't kill him. Also got mid turret. It's whatever.
Yeah, and they also get bottom out of turret. It's like a 5,000 gold lead.
It's like, Jiu is not a champion in this game. Yucal is not a champion in this game. Rich, arguably, not a champion in this game. And now, with Yucal's delayed back, down 1,500, 1,600 gold, is desperately trying to limp over to the topside turret to save it. And I think he's just a little bit too late. Also, the Herald was taken for free without a contest. The Dplus can just do whatever they want on the map right now.
Yep. Moving this to a 5.5k gold advantage. And this is what we were expecting out of today, right? Was the dominance that we've seen from this team. DRX were able to find a comeback. If they find a comeback in this game, I hazard to guess that this is going to be a 3-0 because I don't think you mentally come back from that. As Shiu is looking for a solo bolo 1v2 as Lucid comes in to make those numbers a little bit more fair. And they don't really look fair as DRX are just taking naps left, right, and center. Willer does have the passive charged up.
It's not that Showmaker is sitting on like 6 kills in the early game. It's not the BDD Zoe game. But it's the fact that Silas is sitting on components for 17 minutes and actually hasn't been involved in any real fight outside of that scrap in the jungle. The fact that the Yunara, who's the main character of this draft, has been put so significantly far behind, lost a turret, and is really just trying to find money anywhere. Pretty impressive. His laning phase, incredible. Now, he's going to grab this inner turret as DRX are hoping this is going to be a 45-minute game.
And it's not looking like it is going to be a 45-minute game, although Lucid going down relatively low. Willer taking a lot of damage, though, as we're taking some naps. Grim Deliverance there, but Willer doesn't quite make it over the wall. He does go down to the passive as the Encore comes in. And it is just going to be a disengage here from DK.
Steel stacks.
I mean, that's a very good point. Talk to Orcs about it. He would certainly agree. It's an Infernal Soul this game. DK. Theoretically, DRX could get it, but that's probably not going to happen based on what we're looking at right now as Yucal does dodge out of the way with his dash cannon as now Lucid's possibly in a little bit of trouble. Does get pulled back by the Zahen as the bubble is going to connect one more time. And he goes sleepy and down goes the Silas. Grim Deliverance once again. But Willer is just dead. They do manage to get their first kill of the game. But Andal, he's going to die also. And Jiu down to 50%. Just gets a thumbs up from Lucid to signify the fact that he is going to die pretty imminently. I don't think he's going to be able to walk past the Mundo as the Slurkle goes wide. He does have barrier, but Lucid has 1 billion health.
I have to say, it has been a mechanically impressive game from Jiu. I don't know about that call into the CC in the bottom lane, but he is trying his best to do something in this game. The wallets are just way too heavy. I'm on 2. Rich comes in, he barriers and tries his best.
Okay, do we think that DRX can kill Lucid with 3-4 people? I mean, Showmaker's going to come on over and make it a little bit uneven as Lucid flashes out of the way, gets a big ol' heal, as in goes Yucal, steals an Encore, which is a fair bit of value, and there's the Grim Deliverance, triple immediately for Jiu, and is this now the DRX comeback as Showmaker gets dashed no, there is no way, Wolf!
I don't think...
I mean, it's still 6,000 gold lead, but the Dragon goes over. Soul Point is denied.
Shiu also is going to get away, it looks like.
Also, dude, like, look at that shutdown value as well.
I really want to see the gold graph. Like, look at the lead for Shiu right now.
Yeah.
Just, trying to fathom that is hurting my brain. Amazing Yunara games so far this tournament, so maybe it's possible. Like, I want to believe.
Well, the arrow is going to connect here onto Andal. Let's see whether they can grab this kill as Shiu's moving over. Showmaker on a flank angle as Yukao will find the chains. Showmaker going to have to get out of here as he doesn't have flash, so he doesn't have a chance. Rich is likely to die as well, though, as I don't know about that one, as the weirding was weird. And Lucid just being that front line for the rest of DK. So it's a trade of top laner for mid laner. And honestly, makes a fair bit of sense because he got that quadra kill, or very close to a quadra kill. And that was a large portion of the value. This is an optimistic teleport here from Shiu, just looking to try and kill Rich. And he may just do that as the Nara is picked up here by Yukao. Finds the chains as well and does manage to get a push away, but the flash out from Showmaker and the big heal to keep him alive from the Seraphine. And now Smash has them right where he wants them. They do take down the Gnar, but DRX members are looking so low and the heals are coming through. Lucid, so healthy and flashes on top of Shiu. He's taking matters into his own hands, but unfortunately, he then enters the grave. That's not where he wants to be. Andal is going to follow suit, and Willa likely to go down as well. That fight looked a lot better for DK, as they'll get the ace and now look for a Baron, or maybe just look for the base.
Dplus were just very methodical with how they played that fight out. They were cautious. They waited. Showmaker played incredibly patiently there.
DRX do get inside track on this Dragon.
They have a fast Dragon take, but they don't have great setup.
It is still going to be a 50-50 as Lucid does move over here. Andal is snagged by the arrow, and just the edge of the Encore is going to pick up Andal. But now the Grim Deliverance comes in. The Drake is going to get stolen away by Willa as Lucid's still alive. That health bar very high, but the bottom lane has just been wiped out. Now it's Showmaker that has to do all of the damage. The Gnar is gigantic from Shiu, now hops out, and he's a mini Gnar wanting to do that DPS. But I think he's just going to get taken out here as Lucid is looking impossible to move. He's not taking damage as Yukao is just trying to run away.
That fight was saved by Shiu.
Oh dear.
My God, Atlas.
Battlestar is going to come through and, yep, Shiu looking fantastic in the fight. Ultimately, DK do win as far as the team fight in itself is concerned, but the Drake being denied is massive here for DRX.
I don't think they can get the inhib either.
And also, look at the Rebel Baron power play. It's sitting at negative 600 as Yukao is going to die. Andal probably doesn't want to be here as the inhib turret has already been taken down. The burst damage from Showmaker is too large, and the portal jump not going to be enough to get that damage down as Lucid's going to need another couple of trophies or a paddle star from Showmaker as they grab some extra plates on their way out.
Yep.
They're looking to try and turn this Rebel Baron power play around, and they have managed to do so. About a 1,400 gold swing since we spoke about it last, with all these structures hitting the deck as, oh god. Yeah, Rich takes a paddle start that he certainly did not want to take. Crypt Bloom is now done here for Showmaker, and he has a cheeky extra needlessly large rod, and it's feeling a little bit needlessly large in this game.
Shiu is super huge right now, and they have the stolen Gnar. They need something like that desperately, but Yukao so low.
The poke, they need to avoid it, or they need to hard engage. And what did we say earlier on? They have no engage!
All they have is the stolen Gnar.
And if they have stolen Gnar, that's not an engage tool. Now Willa goes in. There's the Grim Deliverance. They take down the Ashe, and Willa is going to be traded. Now Yukao trying to look for that angle, but they've peeled away. The Gnar is not exactly the biggest, but they use it to take down Korea. And now Lucid is very, very big. It's going to take a little bit of killing to get him, and he doesn't have flash, so he doesn't have his life. And DRX will save their base and live to fight another day.
Dplus didn't need to force. When they buy time, they survive. This is going to be the Soul Point going over to Dplus. They can then turn their eyes towards Baron, but because DRX got that extra lease on life and has survived here, there's going to at least be some vision on Baron for them. Andal's able to get this ward up, which is incredible. 3 inhibitors down, he's able to get vision set up here. He's going to back as quickly as he can.
Or might not be able to as everything hits! Oh, he takes a nap, and the paddle star is going to take him down. Oh dear. He did manage to get that ward, but at what cost? Well, his life is the cost. We saw that immediately. This Baron going to go down exceptionally quickly. There's no way that DRX can challenge because they have no inhibitors left. And so now another Baron, Soul Point.
Star that hits.
Can you QSS gray screen? The answer is no, unfortunately.
Well, they're going to try to set something up here where UCal can either flank or they have the Zahin engaged. Shield's going in.
He's just going to dash in. Kill Smash finds the entire bottom lane and wipes them out. And now the rest of DK, what can they actually do? The Grim Deliverance takes him down to his passive here is now Lucid, still trying to kite this one out. Showmaker going down very low, but he steals away a flash and looks to escape. Oh, God. Well, I mean, they're still in danger. These turrets are still, like, there's still nothing in the base. Let's check it out from G's perspective.
I'm going to look for something here. He just says casually as he comes in and deletes Smash from the game.
And, I mean, it was so close to Lucid going down as well as he flashes out of the way. Like, this play from Gio is just absurd. Has definitely saved the game. Flash from before.
UCal has a very short cooldown on his ultimate, so we'll have it back here.
Oh, God. Well, the 4v4 is going to start things off as the teleports will bring the top laners in as well. Xiu, gigantic shield now fighting against UCal once again as the arrow goes wide. And DK starting a fight is not what they want. They want to keep throwing things out, finding paddle stars, finding bubbles, and hitting trophies. That's what they want to do. And speaking of which, he lands it onto Xiu. He is able to get himself out of the way as the encore comes in, barely hits onto Xiu there as well, but Willer is dead and Showmaker is flashing on top of Xiu. Now the barrier is down and Lucid will just walk at the Inara and down he will go. Now UCal finds yet another Gnar, but he gets walloped and destroyed, and DK took him a little while. It got a little dicey, but they'll get the Infernal Soul, and I think they'll win the game.
All right, Showmaker with the massive play.
Oh my
Rich
goodness.
trying to make something happen.
Yeah, Paddlestar goes down. Rich will have a few better buttons, and he does connect it as soon as that bubble didn't land.
I don't know if he can get home to defend this, though.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Montreque as best as he can.
The arrow teams off the back. Oh, it just barely misses. But I don't know whether it's going to be enough. Was he on vision there as well as now Smash just going to rain the arrows in? Andal just doing his best. He's trying to land everything onto Smash, but the last few autos come in, and DK.
A lot of bodyguards here for Gio, a lot of bodyguards for this very difficult to kill Ryze anyways. I think the call to ban the Cassiopeia made a ton of sense. Banning the Anivia a little bit less so, but it fits the same sort of identity of, okay, we need some more scaling damage than just this Varus.
Gio just needs to be in good position and keep getting these auto attacks down into the front line. That's all he really needs to do. And he does have a Cassante to hit in order to do that as DRX are looking for the first dragon. And there is a control ward here in the back of the pit, but it's not going to be enough to get DK in there. As we illustrated earlier, not exactly the most fun matchup for the Ryze, but he's farming okay.
Krubs will go over here to Dplus without a hitch. Rich obviously having the later back and then have the teleport is just going to be behind the curve here. They don't have mid-prio. So this is a big win. Dragon went over to DRX. We don't know what Dragon it's going to be just yet. Cloud Soul would be pretty insane for both compositions, but I think for DRX especially, because they have the Sivir Olaf time. As unfortunately for Gio did not quite finish his call, but he has enough to get the Essence Reaver first item. So I guess it doesn't matter really too much.
Yep, Blackfire Torch is done here for Showmaker as well as Rich and Xiu fighting once again. There's the Dominus popped from this Renekton, cutting down. The Cassante gets under the turret, all out, but that just takes Rich out. That's first blood over to the Crocodile.
Some longevity here to scale with the Sivir, but frankly, with the control they have over Dragon, I don't think they need it. Rich is just going to take TP advantage and walk back, and Andal can hold the door.
Well, there's the teleport to come through as Smash buys some shoes. There's the Drake take. As DRX are looking for a little bit more. Chains of Corruption go wide once again. And it's a Cloud Soul Wolf, like you were talking about.
At least force Rich to flash. As Lucid, where are you going?
Oh dear, he's gonna have to spell shield something as Showmaker looking to move his way over, but there is a Realm Warp, and that should be a dead Nocturne. Down he will go, but there's a piercing arrow as the Olaf is gonna be traded. Now, Korea moving in. There is going to be the Keeper's Verdict to get rid of Smash. But
Gio is Sivir, so he's like, I've got mid-prio.
Well, maybe he may not have his life is the problem, as Spell Shield's fantastic. Korea finds the Flash Bulb to take down the Sivir, and you blink and you miss it.
I guess so.
Just being removed. Andal has to flash. That's going to get him out of there, and the top laners are in the bottom lane. Thank you, Jonas Strong, for that one. As Rift Herald is just going to be taken here by DK. I don't think there's a lot DRX can do.
Yeah, I like the idea of clearing the wave and trying to collapse there, but he went pretty deep as Willer is going to show up.
Yeah, UCal on a flank angle as well, as we've got a teleport getting them behind DK. I think DRX may have just got themselves a Rift Herald based on that play. And Wolf, you said it before, the macro from DRX is just been good. Spike gets a big old shield. As Rich just happy for a trade of ultis. Chains of Corruption once again thrown out just for fun as Andil likely to be dead, but does get to keep his verdict down. The Arcane Storm is going to be enough though, and down goes the Poppy. Whether he really minds too much about that.
Showmaker is just trapped in the bottom lane, and this is now a 5v4, and they get Prio on the Dragon. Slow and steady wins the race here for DRX, although Andil a bit far forward.
Yeah, Showmaker moving over, and DK, I mean, they're going to give up Cloud Soul point. Keeper's verdict is going to not quite work out here as the Realm Warp is very aggressive. It delivers the Poppy, and they get on top of Showmaker. He's blown up in an instant. And now DK, can they still win the fight? That's the question. As DRX, they just rebuild the Phalanx. And DK, I don't know whether you want to take this one as the piercing arrows are flying in. Lucid wants to get that damage through. Shiu is a monster in this game as he goes all out, takes out the Poppy, but then has to flash to get himself out of the way. Now, Gio, I don't know about that one, buddy. That is too far, as now Smash can walk up to take down Rich, and DK delivered a team fight on a silver platter.
Yeah, I'm not going to say I'm not sure. I'm going to say I am sure, which is what you were saying essentially.
Yes.
That was not the play there from Gio, who does now put together his Flicker Blade. Dplus are going to put together a Baron. And yeah, that maybe just slow play that one. It was so beautiful how they slow played the lead up, the secure on the Dragon, the front to back, and then suddenly Gio was like, I'm full build. It's like, no. Actually, it's not game 2.
Please. Yeah, no, he in melee range as a Sivir is not really what you want to be doing. And now DK are going to very comfortably take this Baron 21 minutes into the game.
The way they played everything else in that fight was brilliant, and I was about to sing their praises, like, wow, okay, they miraculously were able to wrestle Prio away, they kept Showmaker out.
Yeah, they get the Dragon.
It's like, okay, I got Soul Point, which is valuable if we can survive this Baron and everything else. It's a 5,000 gold lead here again for Dplus now. Navarro's 2K ahead.
Yeah. And he's got Cyrilda's done as Career is going to interrupt the Blast Cone there as Rich moves his way over. Smash cannot actually enter the fight as finally he hits an ultimate at least as the Paranoia, but the delivery onto Andil as he takes a buckler to the head and dies. That is just Lucid down, but you can see these health bars on DRX are very low.
Force this Dragon without backing, but that back timing is going to allow DRX to set up here. Poppy with ultimate back online, the exhaust is set up. This is a tough fight for Dplus here.
Oh man, Smash needs to be really careful because Willa, if he just runs at them, he can really do some damage. As there's a Realm Warp, they're looking to try and single out Showmaker, but there's a Paranoia to make them all blind as Shiu is fighting Rich on the top end of the fight. Now Andil going down so incredibly low. Gio flashes over the wall. Shiu might be taken out here as Yukal has joined the fight, but Andil's also going to go down, and now Lucid gets on top of Gio, but Gio just evaporates him. The amount of damage from this Arcane Storm, though, just ludicrous as DK still have carries to spare, and the Pulverize connects. No more Steadfast Presence because Andil is down, and DRX are going to get routed.
I mentioned in the draft very briefly that Spell Shield interaction with Alistair. It's just not great for Sivir because it just hasn't spawned.
Yeah.
And won't be for a while if they keep getting dragons, obviously, so...
And they want to be denying the soul because otherwise they won't win team fights because Gio is just going to sprint around way too fast after pressing his ultimate button as we've got a bit of an all-in here towards the bottom side. Rich's Sterix helping him out very nicely as the Realm Warp is going to make it unfair, but there is the Paranoia as well. Rich having to flash his way out as Yukal, he has decided he is fully committing to trying to kill this Cassante, and unfortunately, Showmaker will say no.
I think the call from Rich was Realm Warp on this. Just not going to call Worth on this one for DRX. The ultimate for Yukal is down, which has been one of their biggest tools in team fights as well. The Dragon's spawning in 1 minute's time, and they're going to have 0 prio for it.
Man, Showmaker is making Victor look broken in this game.
It's pretty crazy what he's been able to do. The call to go to Baron or not, is that the right or wrong call? I just don't think there is a call. Like, they have to give this Dragon, and they can't do Baron in time. So Dplus get this Dragon for free and put themselves on 2 Drakes. Again, still super far away from Soul, but it's a free win. Poppy, support Poppy, but your lethality bars doesn't scare me.
Trying to back on a wall. There's a teleport in as well as in goes the Olaf. He does get exhausted, but he doesn't look that tired to me. As the all-out comes through, Shiu lasts a little bit longer than you'd expect, but with the Ragnarok running resistance as well, so the Undertow spam is not as powerful.
They have pretty strong turn with this Nocturne. I'm not sure why they're not just putting people on Dragon.
Oh, well, Realm Warp is going to deliver them into the backline. There's the flash out from Smash as Lucid just trying to get on top of the Sivir. She gets feared, and now Shiu is looking to try and get in. The Guardian Angel is going to get popped as Shiu is out of the, somewhat threat range, as well as down very low as well. And oh no! Career is just left to be a stake. As now Showmaker gets flashed on by Rich. He needs to run quick. He does have the tools to do so, but unfortunately, it's not enough. As Smash is now the only damage that's left. Xiu trying to keep them interested, as Smash getting a little bit frightened, as Rich, great sidestep and really good ward that was positioned there beforehand. There's the all-out, but Xiu just says good night to Andil with it. Finds the Q onto Rich there as well, and he's now looking for the extra damage, but Yukao puts him in prison and takes him down.
Xiu's back here. Smash needs to be very careful about sticking around of the pit from the outside before they go for this. This is a bit disastrous here for DRX. There's a Paranoia.
This ward as well. Yeah, the Paranoia goes down there looking to try and kill Rich, but Smash has to move into melee range, and he's going to get wiped out. Now Lucid in a lot of trouble. The headbutt to try and save the jungler, but it's just going to be Korea once again being turned into mincemeat, and DRX just keep winning.
Oh man, Atlas, this is one of those games where, I mean, I've been saying the whole series long, but DRX are like, this is the bar. Already over. And this is DRX taking Cloud Soul and Baron.
Oh my goodness. It's now 5.5 minutes until the Elder Dragon spawns. And DRX, they have confirmed tempo vibes.
See if they can punish him, or if he's just going to be able to get away. He doesn't have Realm Warp, but he doesn't need it.
Great vision control here as well, as Lucid, standing on a ward this entire time, is actually going to get chased down by Willa here momentarily.
So much goal on the map here for DRX, and stronger at every passing moment.
Yeah, now Rich, 18. Yeah, Rich able to walk up, and so now Xiu could be in a little bit of trouble, mitigates a bit of the CC. But even the Crocodile, man, level 20 on this Renekton. It's a very scary time for DK, because after this, if they don't win this game, they're staring down the barrel of match point for DRX. As now Lucid looking to try and start this fight onto Yukao, but he is very scary right now. Level 18.
There's no follow-up.
Willa does get his CC removed, but doesn't actually have to use his Ragnarok to do so, as now Xiu is possibly going to get taken down. He gets exhausted. He lasts a while, but he is eventually taken out, and the inhibitor goes down as well. Man, the gold advantage that has been built here by DRX is massive. 6,000 on the Rebel Baron power play, and that is only going to go up as they take another inhibitor turret. And DK, I mean, what are they supposed to do? DRX just have all the answers.
Yeah, they really do. Here's the TP in from Rich. They're looking to end the game right now.
Keeper's verdict is not going to push them all that far, as the Pulverize does not anything at all from Korea. There is no follow-up, and Rich dives forward. Showmaker still able to do a fair bit of damage here, but he gets taken out. The ricochets tear through DK, and DRX will move to match point.
And the Galio can also help keep this Kalista alive. They're putting all the eggs in the Jew basket. I think, like I said, this game is not good. It's not a game where there's a comeback angle.
This is Yukao moving over. Showmaker as well is able to set up the wall. Let's see whether he does pull the trigger on that one, and there it is. Andil is over, very far away from the rest of his team. Shoved back and destroyed. That's the steal as well. Oh no! A kerfuffle around where the Scuttle Crab is spawning. Now Xiu is dead as well. There's no bailout available, and Dplus will grab 2 swift kills and take DRX's lunch money.
The game state is definitely massively Dplus favored.
Oh dear, there's Heartbreaker Flash, cease and desist, and I don't think Xiu's getting bailed out of that one.
At least he pressed it this time.
There you go! Tech Minefield going to be enough, and so the Nefiri, now with not a whole lot to do. Lucid spotted here on these grubs, as that's a teleport. Lucid just going to get out of there and say, all right.
Like, I'm going to TP and ult the jungler.
This game is possible.
Plus the Ziggs.
Yes, also, yes, very good, very true. I always look at the top lane for split push potential, but yeah, Ziggs is problematic.
He is kind of a scary pusher. He's not pushing right now, as they did get into the isolated 1v1. Geo is matched farm.
This Drake has spawned. Dplus looking at it. Earth, Wind, and Fire on the table. That would be fun as Lucid Bolt breaks in. Andil's going to get knocked up. Hostile takeover comes on through. Flash out from Smash to try and avoid that. It's a great handshake as Korea wants to find the battle dance, and he will be able to do so. As DRX, this is a Scuttle Crab as Andil is just going to get thrown at Lucid. Showmaker puts the rocks down, throws back the Gargoyle. Mega Inferno Bomb comes in, but that is going to be the dodge on the damage out of Willa. Fantastically done there, and Lucid's going to be taken out. We've Weaver's Wall comes in. Showmaker, that is aggressive positioning as the seismic shove does go wide. Now he's tanking the dragon, but that large boulder did a whole bunch of work here as Korea goes in, gets the knockups, and now, oh, Smash is bobbing for apples, looking for the angle. There is the taunt, the flash out from Showmaker though, as now Yukao deals with the dragon. Justice Punch comes in. There's a great handshake as Korea not able to finish them off, but these health bars are so low. Bouncing bomb, not enough. And Smash is waddling, trying to get in range. He's not quite able to do so.
I guess it's just a hands game, isn't it, Atlas?
Yeah, I think that's probably what it is.
By Dplus. It's the better group and the better team fight setup here for Dplus, or for DRX, whereas Dplus have to make these desperate calls like Career, trying to look for a re-engager, but Smash can't quite get in.
Need to make sure I'm talking about the correct entrance because there's a heroic one in this game as well. That is not a button that's pressed. The Gargoyle does have that one available. Flash cease and desist. They're just trying to blow up Willa. They do manage to at least get the ulti to land, but there is that heroic entrance that we were talking about, and Korea is going to go down. Jiu secures that kill, and they just didn't have enough burst damage to take down the Nefaria.
Yeah, he
in
lives,
good position.
But this is a huge win. Like, now the gold lead is basically gone for Dplus. And they're going to go for a contest here. Last minute, Andil, no ult.
No Mega Inferno Bomb for Smash either. So Lucid's going to make it a 50-50 regardless, as the train's going to come in, but the Scion didn't really want it as, okay, that's just a fadeaway smite here from Lucid, and now they're stuck in the pit. Lucid's going to try and stop them, as now Rich dealing with 3 people, the rest of DRX not quite figuring it out, as Xiu is going to be their target, but he's got a counter-strike, finds a double stun, as Xiu almost dies, as he just completed his Trinity Force, and he's going to survive. Now Showmaker gets on in there with the Weavers, while the backup for the Jax has arrived finally, as the quickness from this Rakan gets in. Xiu's trying to get bailed out, but that fails, and the interruption on Shelly from Lucid. This is the problem with Dplus. They're capable of this beauty and also all of the other things that happened in this series.
For real, and in this game. Okay, we take it, we unpack it. Are we? Oh, am I back on trusting Dplus now? I'm like not really sure, but
I thought you were gonna say, "Am I live?" And like, yes, Wolf, we can still hear you.
Okay, good, yeah. I was not as worried about that, but it's good to confirm.
I can't actually confirm. I'm not listening to the stream. I can turn it up or something.
Okay, but look, Paul is in fact punished by Dplus.
Yeah, and I want to say sorry to Talia. Maybe just sorry to Showmaker. You can pick whatever you like, man. My personal bias is on champions. The 1-3-1 is upon them, and they cannot even take this dragon.
Yeah, this is, by the way, only one grub on Xiu, and Lucid is going to get the dragon, so you
and that's another wave crashes bot lane.
You almost won the team fight. Also, your base is about to be exposed.
Yeah, you almost caught Captain Smash Sparrow.
Yeah.
But it just, it cost you everything. That is going to be Soul Point going over to DK in the interim.
And I suppose maybe we were right to trust.
And he gives them the big old thumbs up and walks away. Yeah. Coward!
Not a the most inspiring Weaver's Wall, but good enough to make sure no one could follow up on that, which was lackluster.
Oh. Willa bounces over the wall. He's going to be all right.
There's the satchel. Finally, they got it.
Yep.
And in 1 minute and 40 seconds,
we're going to have to cue the music.
Yeah, either Dplus will win the game or something really funny will happen.
Yeah.
Unless you're a Dplus fan.
Or the throw will begin. It's going to be a multi-part process, though, this throw, if it does actually happen. As Rich, oh yeah, there's a sad beat. Quickness comes on through. There is a heroic entrance, and so Rich will buy a bunch of cooldowns.
Decision here, but he is walking up right now. He doesn't have TP. DRX trying to make this, again, a second attempt at Baron turn into a mistake for Dplus. If Dplus misplay this, I suppose there's a potential angle. Maybe.
Yeah. And it also will stop them from doing the Hextech Dragon right now. So that is a good thing. The problem is they're also in a shooting gallery, and there is Smash with these bouncing bombs that are just really, really difficult to avoid when you're in an enclosed space. Now Rich standing in front of him, and he is very tanky on this Scion. As Willa, can he find the angle into the backline? Goes Xiu, looks for it. Quickness is fantastic. Mega Inferno Bomb is largely avoided, but still does a bit of work. As Xiu getting into that backline will proc the bailout, and down goes Xiu, and that means down goes all the damage. Out goes Yukao. He's going to see what he can get done here, but Showmaker is off on the side. The threaded volley. Yeah, the taunt doesn't mean too much, as that button was already pressed and the Gargoyle will go down. The Baron was actually secured, as Lucid just decided to stay in the pit and finish that one off. And now it's a 10,000 gold lead. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, unlosable.
Yeah, I think this was DRX's way of saying, win out, grab Baron, 10,000 gold lead, Hextech Soul.
Is a 10,000 gold lead, Hextech Soul, Baron, and full map control enough for DK to cleanly win again?
I don't even think KT could throw this one.
Throw it back.
Yeah, she did. She told me not to grow it first, but then she changed her mind later. I don't think people will like it if I shave my beard, but I don't think I'm going to have to.
Yeah,
That's the real talk here.
DK are making you look pretty safe right now, as I'm the one that looks silly because Showmaker's about to win with Talia. As there is the flick back on Rich, and yeah, unfortunately that train didn't have any tracks, and well, actually the tracks are there. He's just on the wrong side of them. As the Weaver's Wall came up to make sure that the escape was just not there for the zombie. And the zombie wasn't able to escape anyway. He was always going to die. Now Nexus turret's under fire. This top inhibitor turret is probably going to go down as more of a formality than anything else. Look at this army of siege minions! That's all right, they're looking for Showmaker, and Mega Infernomon goes down. Jiu doesn't even get bailed out this time. He is just dead in an instant. The hostile takeover is leaving. It's just leaving. DRX, they're going back to the drawing board, and we are heading to Silver Scrapes as Dplus Kia keep the series alive.
Out of the Lantern, because they're just going to be blowing up your front line, which, by the way, is a Gwen, and that's it. And if they get any kills, if Tristana gets resets here, the Wild Growth can save either carry threat in the Tristana and the Aphelios.
Well, all right. Jiu going to be backing away. Lantern just for the shield. But can Shiu survive? That is the question. It's a big wave moving towards this Gwen. It's going to be a tough dive as he is immune a little bit, but Rich is going to die, so a 1-for-1.
And the kill goes to the Gwen. And the DRX kill goes to Willer.
And they hadn't teleported yet, and Rich doesn't have teleport!
Yeah, I can't say I agree with this one. Felt a little bit hard-forced. And so you're like, I can stun somebody, but if there's no follow-up and you don't have that prio on the Dragon, you can't really do anything as the Twisted Fate, and he's just back to pushing mid, and Yukal will join him.
Yep, so Mega Death Rocket unable to get the steal, but as you say, nice try. Red-white guns here for Jiu, but he's slowly running out of ammo.
Or else for DRX.
Yep.
Plus the Dragon.
Oh, did Willer actually take that as well? He did. Just walked up and smote it. Beautifully done. There are the pineapples. Needlework not connecting here as there is the flame spitter. Rich lights him on fire, then lights him on fire again. That is a solo bolo. Just barely misses the backside of the Lulu.
Andal just walks it off though. And we talked about this in the draft. They gave over the Rumble. They slam-locked Shiu's Gwen, and they trusted it. But in terms of individual performance, it just has not been there today. And he gets soloed by Rich, and that was their answer. The initial gank that happened earlier, as he just goes in for the snip, takes a ton of damage. The heat is exactly where Rich wants it. He's got Ignite. He can follow Flash here. Just gets on top of him.
Yeah, gorgeously played. Now level 11, 2 levels ahead of Shiu as well.
Shiu, red, white, they are ready for this fight.
Yep, let's see whether DRX can make this one happen. There's a... Okay, it wasn't exactly the Glacial Prison he was looking for. As now Lucid safeguards his way out. He can also take a Lantern to get his way out of there, but instead he finds the kick, hits Jiu, there's the Flash Play to come through, and the steal is there from Lucid at the same time. You see Lucid trying to get over towards Jiu, but couldn't actually resonatingly strike to him because he was too far away. Finds the Piggy, though, and manages to take down the Sejuani. Now a Wild Growth from Andal is not going to do enough, and that is going to be Showmaker getting even more. Now Jiu and Yukal just trying to keep themselves alive underneath this turret. Jiu only just got there. I guess same can be said for Rich. So it's a full level lead, as now Showmaker could be in trouble. Another Glacial Prison is going to miss, though. And at least Yukal's able to get the damage down. Does find the rocket jump, and Showmaker will die.
Yeah, you can always follow up with that rocket jump in that situation because you know you're going to get the kill and you're going to get right out.
From DK here.
Yeah, it's a big win for the Tristana. All right, as Lucid.
Yeah, looking for an angle here. He's very close to where the Rumble is, and the Rumble is scary. That's all right, connects another Sonic Wave, and now able to safeguard his way over. Super Mega Death Rocket avoided there by Willer, but Shiu, he just wants to get himself a kill and find some money. Lucid makes his way out with 100 health.
Lucid so famed for this pick. Feels CV Max hasn't given him the reins to play it all too often here in 2026, but...
That would be scary. Imagine that. Managed to get 3 Infernals as well as being ridiculously fed, like Rich is, and having Ignite, as the hook is going to go wide here. Lucid trying to find a bit of an angle as the Glacial Prison does come on through. I don't think taking that Lantern's going to be a good idea, and somehow Korea survives!
Well, that's Lucid again, gets the kick for the peel, but...
Oh, he was trying to snipe him.
Yes. And this is going to be a big charge. They don't quite get it from that alone, as UCal does end up taking the first turret there on top side before Shiu could get back. Rich also getting this one. But Dplus, they need to turn this into a dragon take. Getting the turret alone, which they haven't quite gotten yet, isn't really it. They really need to get that Drake.
And Smash is so far forward as well. Has to be a bit careful as the hook is going to connect onto Willow one more time, but they're looking for the fight. Permafrost comes in, the playback onto UCal just to try and buy some space. As Smash got out of there, didn't have to use his flash, but Rich has got his, and he's not afraid to use it. Takes down Lucid. And now DRX are looking for even more. Shiu trying to get in there, but he is nowhere near as scary as this Rumble.
Oh, poor Showmaker too, probably feeling like career trolled him a little bit there, pulling the Sejuani into him.
And the first Infernal will go over to DRX.
And this is really not great for Dplus. They still have a gold lead, as this is going to be another attempt here. And this is not going to be a hook they were looking for. That turret is just gone.
Void Grub interrupting the hook. That feels bad. Direct counter to Thresh, triple grubs.
Apparently. I thought it was just dropping wards on the ground, but there's another threat.
Yeah. But this is frightening. Lucid getting the mini stun kick into the wall onto Rich, but he throws down the equalizer. Still, the needlework comes in, but Willa, he's not able to get enough damage down. Rich somehow, super mega death rocket takes him down. And that is money into Smash's hands. Willa at full health, but he just couldn't affect the play.
Oh man, Rich's face too, hit by the rocket was just like, well, I don't know what I was supposed to do here. I tried my best to get out. Smash actually has the lantern here to take out the turret post-kill.
Cool new item, the MK thingy-jiggy, about the doing damage from a long way. The Caitlyn item. That's kind of fun. It's now Rich. Oh god, has this matchup turned as he silences himself, and for another 46 seconds.
Dplus starting to really pull away with this one. Can't remember the name of right now. It's pretty crazy work. What they could do with it.
It's so far working out here. 3.7k the advantage is now. Willer is in a bit of trouble. Rich needs to be careful as well. Gets the equalizer down in a decent spot, but it's not going to save this Sejuani. Rich, oh, the longest rocket of all time. And Giu is very, very large, but he's tagged by Lucid and shut down. Andal's able to flash the wall. The zap will be avoided, but the damage, ladies and gentlemen, has been done. As Dplus, they're looking at taking this game number 5 with a Baron on the way.
And some things just feel inevitable. Showmaker's Twisted Fate helping to set this one all up. They turn this composition into a killing machine, pick-based for the Jinx to get excited and just snipe people, run them down with that extra range, and that's exactly what happened in that last fight. 5.5k pushes up to 6.3 with the Baron take. Almost every scenario, but with Jinx, you're like, all right, we trust. We're going to put our eggs in the Smash basket this time. He almost has, i.e., 4th item completed here.
So Mega Death Rocket almost finishes him off, and that's going to spell the end of this inner turret. Showmaker doing the same thing on this bottom side. And Lucid just making sure no one can defend. The Gwen's in the top lane. Like, it's actually just every lane is under threat. And there is a second one. So the Rebel Baron power play chugging above 3,000 now.
So if we entertain the possibility of a comeback here for DRX.
Got it.
Get this red buff, but don't overcommit. Try to find a favorable angle here with this gold card. Always fishing. And they have, you know, Lee Sin, Flash coming back up very soon. There's some kick angles. You can insect here
accordingly. Now, with the Baron now worn off, UCal fighting against Shiu here as the equalizer comes on through. Lucid able to get himself out of the way. The Glacial Prison just goes wide though. Shiu able to dash his way out. There's a gold card, but tagged by the Harpoon is Showmaker. He has the exhaust, but I think he's still dead. He goes golden first, but he's set up. Oh, the Lantern gets him out! As the rest of DRX, they're scrambling to try and finish off the kills, but that means Smash is able to auto-attack them. The zap is going to tag UCal. The flash hook picks up the Tristana career. You absolute gem. As Smash is basking in the fire. That's what he likes. And now Willer is going to get taken down. It's a triple as she is going to die for the quadra. And now Andal, the last one standing between Smash and a pentakill here in this game 5. And he's flashing for it. He knows that he can't take the turret for too much longer though. As now Shiu thinking about trying to dive. The Fountain and Andal will say no penta for you if we have to go to the lower bracket of these playoffs. And Dplus Kia, oh man, they gave us as much action as possible here today. in the LCK Cup playoffs, but they are going to win. They're going to keep the streak alive, and DRX going to have to try again next time to see whether they can take down Dplus here, but this was the best shot they've taken in a very long time.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.